And one of the things that he said, which is germane to these discussions, he said Christianity is nothing without the incarnation. The incarnation being the central Christian doctrine that Christ, the second person of the Trinity, became man. And that has many different meanings, but one of the meanings that it has is the idea that Christian principles need to be incarnated in our everyday lives, including the economic system, the financial system, the political system, the social system. That's what Christianity is about. It's not, as you were saying, we don't want to make it purely transcendent. The world hereafter starts in the here and now, and where we end up depends on how we behave in the here and now. So our task is to incarnate these principles, and if we did that successfully in finance and economics, our societies would be a lot more functional than they are, right? And that is part of the meaning of "Thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven." Right? We're not talking about utopia, we're not talking about a mathematically perfect world. We'll settle for 90%, a healthy world, right? There have been times and places in the past when the world was a lot healthier than it is now, and we need to restore that. And social credit, Douglas social credit, is a very important part of what is necessary to incarnate the Logos, right? Because basically what it is that the financial system should be structured in such a way that it respects the natural law. The present financial system doesn't do that, and as a result, 90% of our social problems arise from the fact that the software in which we run this civilization is in conflict with the natural law. So, there's not really much point obsessing too much with all the various incoming missiles. This is a metaphor that Charles Pinwell used to use. There are many different problems. We're attacked on many different levels. But the missile launcher is the financial system. So unless we address finance, we will not be able to respond effectively to all of these incoming missiles. And very, very few people who are concerned about abortion or transgenderism or climate change propaganda or whatever the issue is, very, very few people connect the dots and see that finance is the engine that is driving the whole thing. And humanly speaking, of course, we'll need divine intervention, but humanly speaking, we have no prospect of turning the tide unless we throw a light on this question of money, right? Either the money system reflects reality and it functions in service of every person in society, or it serves the interests of a tiny plutocratic elite at the top of the social pyramid. And that's, of course, that's the model that we have now. And it can't end in any good place. So we have a choice. We turn back to the natural law and try to conform finance, economics, politics to the natural law, or we will suffer the consequences of having disregarded the natural law, right? So it's those are the two choices that we've got. Douglas, in his writings, he's very active in between 1917, which is the same year as Fatima, and 1952. He laid out the diagnosis and provided the remedial proposals to fix the situation. And incidentally, for those who don't know, Douglas died on the feast of St. Michael the Archangel, right? September 29th, 1952. And the pilgrims could speak more about this, but I believe that when Louis Evan came here to Rougemont to establish his center, he only realized after the fact that the parish church was dedicated to St. Michael as well, right? So make of that what you will, but there's some connection. Yeah, so one last thing. It was through the Pilgrims that I discovered social credit about 20 years ago. And, had that not happened, I don't know, I might have become a banker or something equally terrible. So, yes, the rest, as they say, is history. I've written 4 books. We have the animated series, which you might highlight so that people know that it exists. But onward and upward, the truth can't be suppressed forever. They've done a very good job, I have to say, but the more successful they are, they only prepare for themselves eventually a more definitive defeat. So keep that in mind. Thank you.